Wooden railings, always a problem around the home, especially when they have to be finished every year. Well, that's what happens to most of these wooden railings because they get loose, they get a lot of water. Well, in fact, that one there come right off. It has to be replaced anyway. In fact, we're going to put new 2x4 railings in place at 2x3. 3 inches is not enough for that grip going down the steps. Now look at the top rails here. The top rails have been painted every year, the homeowner tells me, but yet it opens up at the miter and the finish completely deteriorates. Never been properly prepared in order to paint it in any event. But I thought, why not clad the railing cap with vinyl? So that's what I'm going to do. So come on down and we'll get started. Cutting the angle that goes up at the top, right at the point of where it meets the top post, has always been a problem for some folks because I get many calls saying, Shell, how do I calculate the angle? I've cut it 3 times and it's still too short. Well, let me show you the easy way. First of all, you want to mark where it's going to overlay at the bottom of the post, the bottom post. So we'll take that, we'll set that right in place, bring it up to the top, and we know that that's the angle because that's where the other piece was in place right there. We draw the angle right at that point. There's the angle. That's what you set your saw blade, and away you go with your circular saw, cut it off, and you're ready to install. Now we want to draw that across with the combination square. That way it's going to give us the line to cut on. Now when cutting, using any machinery at all, always wear safety glasses. Now my glasses are industrial safety glasses, so therefore I'm wearing them all the time, but I certainly suggest that you do wear the protective glasses or possibly a face shield. And there we have it, all ready to nail in place up at the top. Now, I'm using galvanized nails here, and I'm also using Ardox nails. Those are the twisted nails. That way you got good holding power, and it's going to be good and rigid. Buying clear lumber for this type of application really isn't economical because it's just too expensive. But really it's not necessary because we're going to clad it in vinyl anyway. But as you can see here, knots and pieces have actually chipped out. If this was to be used for railing, it just wouldn't be that nice on the hands whatsoever. But using it and using it underneath vinyl is going to be okay. So let's get at the cladding with vinyl. Now I'm going to use the net can system. That's a vinyl deck rail system. It comes in 2x4 and 2x6 widths, white and beige in colors. Makes for a nice cap, and as you can see here, it's got the flutes on the bottom, or it's a rib actually, that acts as a support down on top of the railing once installed. Now when I measured it, it measured 105 inches long for the handrail. Now I'm going to add an extra inch to that because on the end of it we're going to put a nice cap. That cap will trim it out at the end and you won't see the end of the 2x4 whatsoever. So we'll measure it out to 105 inches, then plus the 1 inch. So that's 106. Now what I've done here, I've taken this a scrap piece of 2x4 and I've put it inside the actual profile of the vinyl. Now I can flip the handrail over, and using this a standard carbide blade, cut right on the line, using the 2x4 in underneath as a filler to give it some rigidity while I'm cutting it. There we are. Once you have it cut, all you have to do is slide it into place. Now using a clear rubber sealer, I'll seal it at the top, holding it in place. Now using the special net can adhesive, pull the caps off, run a bead of adhesive, and shove it back into place, and that's fixed. It's now adhered in place, no more movement. Well, there you have it. We've finished up the whole deck rail. No more muss, no more fuss, no more painting or staining, just a little bit of cleaning every year. Let's go and take a look at another application. Fence top rails, they really take a beating. In fact, they require refinishing every year or two. And those tops of the posts, those caps, look what happens to those after a few years. They split open, really making a mess of things. Well, why not just snap those off? And what do you put in place? The net cam post cap cover. Now, it doesn't look nice and clean all the way around. The vinyl railing cap on top of the top rail and the post caps on top of the posts. And it's all available at your local building supply store.